Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Energy Modeling Workshop number 4. We're going to be using the spreadsheet we developed in the first Energy Modeling Workshop, and instead of Energy Pro, we're going to be putting it into CBECC-Res. So I emailed this out to everyone, this model here, and this is the model we'll be building today. But this is what I did earlier today, so this is for your reference. You can go through it as I go through it. So yeah. So from the very beginning, we're going to be using CBECC-Res 2016. So you open it up, start a blank project. So here it is. So CBECC-Res has a good, or when you download CBECC-Res, they also give you example model files, so you can look at those when you're creating a building model. I'll show you where those are. They usually go to your documents. So in your documents, CBECC-Res 2016, you go to projects, and then anything with the .ribd 16 is a model you can open in CBECC-Res 2016. So yeah, just a disclaimer for everybody. I've probably only built like full models in CBECC-Res like twice ever. So this was a learning experience for me as well. And I can show you the basics, but little things might be incorrect, so take it with a grain of salt, I guess. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, so this is where you start. I'm going to file, save as, example model. So starting with the blank project, you have this one thing you can click on. You right click and create. So we want to create a project. The project is the example model. So now we're going to input some of the general information about the area and about the building. And this is where we put information on the sheet index tab. So climate zone 2. And then we want to type in the building address. Cool. And then I'll just go through each of these tabs because they have important information, but we're not necessarily going to change everything. So analysis, this kind of just tells you what analysis type you're running. So you're going to run a proposed model, which is what we're building now. And the software is also going to run a standard model. So that's basically the standard house, which is going to compare our proposed model to. Which where the standard model represents the baseline code. And then at the end, it gives you a % compliance with how well your proposed model matches the standard design. So this all looks good. Good. EDR, battery, notes, building tab. So the building tab is important. So it's a single family. And then I put on my spreadsheet, there are 3 bedrooms. And then, so this is an important button here, natural gas is available. So I'm assuming, because this is a new construction building and it's all electric, so I'm going to assume that there's no natural gas available at the site. And then lighting has defaults that I don't change. You want to leave all the defaults the same. We got appliances. So once we make our zones, we can go back into here and assign the clothes washer and clothes dryer to a zone. We have indoor air quality, cool vent people, cap, and then some simulation setting. Okay, so cool. So now that we've created a project, we have these different tabs. So what I do first, what I'm going to do first is make the different zones and then the walls. So we have the option here to do attic, zone, garage, and crawl space. You can start with zone 1. And then I'm going to reference our floor plan tab just to set it up. So our first zone, it's usually divided up by floors and where your HVAC is going to serve. So for this example, we're going to have 3 zones, the sleeping, the living, and then the garage. Zone 1 is sleeping. Hit OK. Conditions, and then this is where we want to enter our floor area. So our total floor area will be our slab area right here.
Sorry to interrupt real quick, but how did you get to create a zone?
I'm gonna put in 8 feet here. Okay. So on the main tab, you just click on it and then you right click, create, and then zone.
Okay, cool. I'll pay better attention now. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Feel free to interrupt with questions anytime. Okay, so we created our zone. We have a zone area, and then we input the height. And then that was 8 feet, which we read off the building plans. And then you want to leave these other defaults there. So now in the zone, yeah, so I'm gonna first create all the walls and then assign the HVAC equipment and stuff. So we're gonna have 4 exterior walls. So front, we'll start with the front. And then we're gonna go off here and read off our wall areas. 368. Okay, we'll come back to the construction assembly later. Exterior wall. Make a left. So here, our left wall from the building plans only sticks out a little bit on the exterior. So that's why it's only 22 feet. So then we're going to make an interior wall, which will be this wall area over here. So I'm going to start with the exterior. Oh, I did it backwards. Okay. Whoops. 368 here. Okay. And then this one, the right wall, should have 214. Okay. Can I let me do that? No. Okay. So now we have all the walls. And now for every zone, okay, sorry, I hit save, and then it's asking, oh, you don't have the right file extension. So it's changing it to .ribd16, so I save. And then, so now I want to, so it's important to note that for every zone, you're gonna have 6 different things. So so we need 4 walls, and then we need a floor and a ceiling. Since this is the first floor, we're going to put in a slab. So again, we're going to go create, and then I believe it has a slab on grade. Jenna, who's also listening to this workshop, if you see me doing anything incorrectly, then let me know. So yeah, slab on grade. So our floor area will be the same, what we looked at before, 1231. First floor. Floor elevation by assumption was 0, because it's the first floor, and then the length of the slab perimeter is 122. So this is our slab on grade, meaning it's pretty much just a concrete slab on the ground. Yeah, so it's not heated, but we do want to say it has slab insulation. So, and then I just go with the default that it has, and then go with the default surface that it has, which is 80% carpeted and 20% covered. So, yeah. Here, then I'll create, now we need to make a ceiling. But, so CBECC-Res kind of has interesting names, I guess you could say. So we don't necessarily want to make the top of the building the roof. We want to make interior floor. So we're going to call it interior floor. Interior floor 1. Okay, so this area will be the same as the slab area. Now the elevation would be, so the floor to floor height was 9 feet. Our ceiling height was 8. Then above that, our floor to floor is 9 feet. So I'm going to say the elevation is 9. And then we'll come back to the construction assembly. So yeah, that looks good. So here is where we're going to specify that our second zone is on the other side, but we haven't made it yet, so we'll come back to that. Okay, so now we have the 6 main things we need for each zone. Now we're going to create the construction for each of these. These are just placeholders for now, but here, so I clicked on the wall. Now we want to specify, what type of wall we have. So we're going to go to construction, and we're going to create an exterior wall element, and we'll call it wall. So we're going to go to our components tab on our spreadsheet, and we're going to look where we wrote down what the walls were. So they're 2x6, 16 on center, R19. So 2x6. 2x6, 16 on center, and then we're going to go to R19 in the walls. And then usually I just leave the other parts of the wall, the default. So on the inside, it's saying it has gypsum board, and then no sheathing, framing. Well, okay, I guess we should put, let's see. We can put stucco on the outside. Okay. Yeah, we'll just keep it simple. So this is where, so we just created a wall type, pretty much. So we hit OK. Now we can go to where our construction assemblies are, and this is where that wall type comes up. So we can click on it, and that's what it looks like. We can come in and edit here. And so, so now we want that wall type for these 4 walls. So we can go in here and make our construction that wall type that we specified. So now, since our slab, we don't need a construction assembly for that because it already assumes that it's a slab. But for our interior floor, we're going to make one. So make this interior floor. So let's see. So on the floor side, it's carpeted. And then let's see. So our raised floor. Hey Jenna, I have a question for you. If you're there. So I was assuming, based off the spreadsheet that Jenna made, that the floor in between, the two zones is this raised floor specification. So we're gonna make it, where are we? R10, 24 on center. And then we're gonna give it R21 in between. I could be assuming it's wrong, but anyways, so we got carpet, then we got framing, and then gypsum board. We're gonna say okay. So now we have the construction types within our zone. So now we're gonna make our second floor. So we're going to go back up to that project tab and hit create and then zone. So we're going to make our zone 2, go back to the floor plan tab. And our zone 2 is living. Okay. It's also conditioned. And then it is 786. And then our average ceiling height is 8 again. Okay. And now, since we already made these, I'm gonna copy and paste these into zone 2, these walls. Sometimes it's easier to do this than it is to make new walls. So now we can go into each of these and change the area. So now we already have that construction type in the wall specification. So now we're looking at the front wall. We'll make this 165. The left wall is 368. The right wall is 368. And then the back wall is 165. So now we got all our walls with the right wall areas. So since this zone is on the second floor, so it's going to have a ceiling. So this is also interesting, which I decided on, I guess, through trial and error as I was building the other model. So looking at the building plans, it looks like, or I'm assuming there is no attic within the building. So basically, I modeled this as a cathedral ceiling, meaning a typical cathedral ceiling, you know, the ceiling follows the triangle of the roof and you don't have any attic. But basically what I did when I created it was made the slope of the roof 0, so it'd be just like a flat ceiling. And that's how I approached it. Again, like I said, I'm just figuring this stuff out too, so correct me if I'm wrong later, or I'll correct myself later if I'm wrong. I'm going to remind myself in the name, we call this a flat roof. So it's over zone 2. So the ceiling area for the second floor is 786. We'll come back to the construction again. And then, so instead of creating another interior floor, we're going to link where the floor should be here to this zone. So we should be able to, once we go into zone 1, or so we go to this interior floor, and we're going to say on the other side, zone 2 is there. So this links then, so I don't have to recreate that that floor. Okay, and then also I just remembered, so the top floor is slightly smaller than the bottom floor. So the bottom floor is also going to have some ceiling area as well. So we're going to add that to zone 1. So again, cathedral ceiling. I'm going to call it a flat roof. Cathedral ceiling sleeping, flat roof. So to get that area, I'm going to subtract the slab area and then the slab area of the first floor with the slab area of the second floor. I think I already did that. Roof of the sleeping. So that's 445. Okay, so now we should have our roof areas in. And now I'm going to create a construction assembly for the roof or the ceiling, both. So I want to create an assembly. So go back to our components, and we're going to look at roof. So it's going to be 2x10, 24 on center. And then it's going to be R38. Again, using the defaults, it says light roof, asphalt shingles, and then gypsum board on the other side. Okay, so now we got roof in there. So now we made that assembly in this spot, but again, it's going to pop up down here. We have a roof, so now we can go into our other ceiling specification and go roof. So now we got our 2 zones, and now we're going to make our garage space. And you know what? I made this mistake the first time I did this too. In the project tab, so the very first selection that comes up, you want to go in here and go to building, and then we're going to make sure we specify has attached a garage, because it'll give you an error when you try to make a garage, or when you try to run a garage. So it has an attached garage. Okay. So we're going to go in here and we're going to create a garage. So since I click that, I think it would pop up. Oh, there it is. I'm crazy. Sometimes it's a little glitchy. Okay, so garage. The total area, looking at our spreadsheet, 528. I'm going to leave the volume, and the bottom is at 0. Okay, so also for the garage, we need those 6 surfaces specified. So that means, so I'm going to go in and copy again, just to put this information in here. So now we got our floor walls. We're going to go in. I'm going to just name it front garage. The front of our building, 176. And then I'm going to go in and change the construction type when I'm done putting in the wall information. Left wall is also 368. Right wall. Oh no, I'm messing up. Okay, right wall. Right wall is 0. Okay, hold on everybody. Front wall, 176. The left wall is 192. So this is also interesting how CBECC-Res specifies the walls that are attached to 2 zones. So you only need to specify it within one of your zones here. So that's going to be our right wall. So our right wall of the garage is the same wall as the the bottom floor wall. So I'm going to say here, you know what? Okay, I remember how I did this now. I'm going to delete this here. I'll come back to that. And then just finish this up. So the back wall of the garage is 176. And then before I forget, I'm going to change the construction type because we don't want insulated walls within our garage, which is what this wall is. We're going to create a new assembly. Call it garage wall. So gypsum board, and then we'll be consistent. The walls were 2x6, so we'll say it's 2x6, 16 on center, no insulation, and we'll put stucco on the outside. Okay, but it's uninsulated. We don't even, I'll just leave the default. Okay. Now I want to put this information in all of these. Instead of wall, we want the wall garage. Okay. So now we have that shared wall, like I said. So I'm going to make it in our first zone. So we're going to go create, instead of an exterior wall, we're going to make an interior wall. So interior wall, sometimes having longer names helps you remember what you were doing. So interior wall, we're going to say sleeping to garage, just to remind us. So the wall area is going to be 192. So now we can specify the zone on the other side, which is the garage. And then, so now we got to create another new construction assembly, even though it's the same as our exterior walls, because this is technically an interior wall, but it's going to have the same construction as the exterior walls because it's touching the garage, which is unconditioned. So I'm assuming that it will have the same construction assembly as the exterior walls. So the walls, 20 or 2x6, 16 on center, and we're gonna have R19, double gypsum board. We'll put whatever. Okay. Cool. So now, since we don't have a fourth wall here, it'll recognize that we put it over here, so it's not, we won't get an error when we run it saying we don't have those 6 things within each zone. But now we need to create the slab So slab on grade. Go back to our floor plan. So our floor area. So I'm going to assume that there is an exposed surface because it's a garage, and then no insulation around the edge. Now we need a ceiling. So again, I'm going to use the cathedral ceiling because both of these other options for ceilings assume that you have an attic above them. So this is the one that doesn't assume you have an attic above it. The ceiling area will be 528. We want that roof construction assembly there. Okay, cool. So I think that officially lays out all the surfaces that we have.
Hey Emily, one
Yep.
comment I would make on the ceilings is let's see, the roof rise, you could change that to 0 by 12.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to do. Thanks for catching that.
And then the orientation, I usually put the orientation of the roof as front.
Right.
But
Yeah, I was
I'm
looking
not
at
sure
that earlier. But I guess
flat roof, I don't think it matters.
yeah, I was thinking because that's basically like where like the surface of that like your hypotenuse, I guess, of the roof is, I guess. I don't know. I'll take your suggestion though and make it front. I don't think it matters too much because it is a flat roof. So that's a question mark because I'm still learning here too. So yeah.
You're doing great.
Okay, so now I'm gonna cheat because windows and doors can be kind of annoying. I'm gonna pull up model I did before and copy and paste some windows in, but I'll show you how to make one first and what I did. So looking at our spreadsheet, we have these different window types for each wall. And let's see, what's a good example? I'm going to do W05 for the right wall on the first zone. So the right wall, we're going to go create. You have the option for a window or a door. I'm going to make a window. So I know W05, there's 2 of them on the sleeping zone on the right wall. So I'm going to call it W05. Exterior wall, cool. So you have different options with how you want to specify the window dimensions. So what I've seen done before, like for bigger buildings, to save time, it kind of makes sense. You can either do an overall window area on each surface, each wall that you have, or you can type in individual windows and their dimensions. And since we typed out all our window types with the different dimensions, we're going to go that way. And it's a smaller building, so less windows. So again, so this pops up. And again, we have the option. So another way you can simplify it. So instead of typing in width and height, you can just do the area, which is what I'm going to do just to make it easier. But in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have done it that way because this specific building has a bunch of like pretty deep overhangs, and that can help a lot with like shading of the windows and stuff like that. But I chose to assume that there were no fins or overhangs, so I unchecked this button. And now I don't have to specify the width or height when I type in my windows. So we're going to do W05 on the right wall. So that's 18 feet squared. One would think. Okay. So I think it wants me to create a window type first. So I'm going to do that. So I want to create a new window type. And this is the same kind of thing as the construction assemblies that we made for the walls. So window type 1. We're going to have one window type because all the windows follow the same specifications. So here, I'm going to unclick this box as well. And then I'm not going to input information here, but I am going to change the U factor and solar heat gain coefficient because that's going to stay consistent between all our windows. So go back to the components. Our windows have a U value of 0.25 and then also a solar heat gain coefficient of 0.25. Okay, see if it gets mad. I don't know why it's saying that. Okay, I'm gonna cheat. Let's see what happens. So in here, I was able to see where when I unclick this box, sorry if this is confusing, this is the first model that I did earlier today here. And then when you click on it, see I unchecked this box and then those two values went away for the width and height. And then I just typed in the window area. All the things should be the same. Okay. So is it gonna get mad if I copy and paste it in? See, now it has all the right specification. I don't know why. It's not letting me edit that. Okay. Well, I'm gonna delete that one. And then we're gonna go off. I'm just gonna copy and paste the windows in. What I did before, which is what Jenna did in the previous workshop for Energy Pro, she just made all the windows in one building model and saved it separately. Sometimes that's easier just to do them all at once and then copy and paste them in on which walls they should be on. So that's what I did, but I have this completed model here, so I'm going to go off this. And I don't know why it was giving me an error, so sorry about that. I'm going to copy the second window 5 here. And then I'm going to copy these 4 on the front wall. Again, it's getting mad. I don't know why it does that. It's getting mad. I'm just going to keep doing it and hope it doesn't break. Stay with me here. Okay, it's just highlighting weird things now. Okay, we got this one. Sometimes it helps. Little drop-down menus. Now we're going to go to wall, the left wall here. And there we got a door. So I guess I can input this door information to show you how to do that.
Maybe it's giving an error because you never created the new fenestration.
What do you mean?
Or did you? Like when you are in the model and you're first starting to create a window, you would right click on a wall and do create, and then you would set it up with what type of window it is. Maybe it's giving an error because it doesn't know how to like compute that window, or like it doesn't have a parent set up maybe.
I'm not sure. It seems to have worked.
Yeah, it looks like it's
yeah. I don't know, before, because I like created the window, like I went through the process. Yeah, I thought that was the issue, create the window, and then I went back into it after the window was created, and it still wasn't letting me edit the area, which is like what the main thing you should edit, I guess, in a window. But maybe, okay.
Because I'm copy and pasting it. I'm just doing like the total sum of the area of the fenestrations on each wall. Just kind of trying to be as quick as you on this, and it's yeah, it's letting me do it. So I just I created one window and then I'm copy and pasting it all throughout, just changing the total area. So it seems like the copy and paste function does work, but
yeah,
who knows what the error code is, but
sometimes
it's working.
I've noticed that it's kind of clunky sometimes. Like even if I'm going around like different things too fast, it'll like shut, and like things don't pop up right away too sometimes. So I don't know. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing here. Oh wait, I'll show you. Let's see if the doors work. So create. I want to make a door. I'm just gonna call it door. Now the full area, and go back to our spreadsheet. So we're on, just to utilize this some more, on the living left wall, we have D22. So we want to go to D22, and that's 24. So cool. Now we have the door. So let me do the door, which is weird. Okay. I'm just gonna pretend like that's not happening. So this is the back wall before I mess that up. I think I messed it up on the other ones. It's okay, I swear. Exterior wall. Okay. Might have messed this up because I put the, so front wall and then right wall. Oh no, I did it right. Good job. I changed the order of how I put the walls in this one. Okay. So now we got windows. So I'm gonna save that.
Garage door. Is there a way to specify what type of door it is, or does it just take the U?
No. So yeah, I was gonna actually bring that up. So when you create a door, it's only like this information. So you can make it a garage door by changing the U factor. So then I was gonna ask, do you know what a typical U factor for a door or garage door is?
I think an uninsulated one is a U factor of 1, and then an insulated one, 0.5 would be good.
Okay. So I'll just leave it like that. Okay. So let's save that and close it. Okay, now we got all this information here. So we got all the all the walls specified. So now we're going to go into the mechanical information. So how I like to do it, I like accessing the information from the envelope tab and going to the zone data and then going here and creating a new system. What you could do as well, you could go to the mechanical tab. We can write, similar to how we did the envelope, we can right click on the project data and create HVAC system, domestic hot water system, and IAQ stuff. So I'm going to do it from this way. So we want to make a new HVAC system. Let's call it HVAC system. So now we go into system type. So this is like a general type. What kind of system do you have? And then looking at our spreadsheet, we have a split heat pump. So we're going to click heat pump, heating and cooling system. And then here, now it opens up the HVAC system data. So this is our total floor area, or combined floor area for both stories. Oh, well, that'll change. Just one second. So now this is our HVAC system data. We're going to go to heat pump data, make a new heat pump, and call it. And I'm going to name it split heat pump because that's the type we have. You can even type in Bryant because why not? So now we hit heat pump, we named it. Now we're going to type. Now we're going to choose the type of heat pump that it is. That's the first option, a split heat pump. Okay. So now it opens up the split heat pump data sheet, I guess you could call it. Now we're going to type in our specifications for what this specific product is. So we got an HSPF of 13, the heating capacity at 47 degrees is this, and at 17. Now we're going to type in our cooling performance. So this one updates on its own and you can't change it. And that's where this error usually comes up. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know where this comes to play. But I'm gonna go with the default. I think the default is unclicked. I think I accidentally clicked it. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it as a default. I'm gonna leave all these as the default. We're gonna assume our refrigerant is verified and it's R410A. So now we got our heat pump information in there. And now from this tab, we're going to create a distribution system and a fan. Create a new distribution system. I'm going to select the type. So now, again, the attic comes up. We don't have an attic, so we're going to say the first option for ducts located within conditioned space. So it's saying less than 12 lineal feet or entirely located. I'm going to assume it's entirely located in conditioned space. So we got our distribution, ducts located in conditioned space. Okay. Now we want to make a fan. So there's only one option for the fan, which is kind of interesting. So HVAC fan, and then choose a type, which is a single speed furnace fan. That's what we got. I'm going to use the default. Okay.
I'm not sure if the fan needs to be selected. Are you sure about that?
We could not select it and see what happens.
Yeah, the only thing is, I think because we're using a heat pump, it has like, I think it counts the internal fan of the system, but I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Sometimes it could double count if you were to add another fan, but
yeah,
interested to see what happens with and without it, but just wanted to
Yeah, we'll see what happens with and without it. Yeah, a lot of these things can be trial and error. So these other tabs just fill in the data. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, that kind of confuses me because there's another tab for the domestic hot water. So we're gonna keep chugging along with how I typically do it. Okay. So we hit OK. We created our HVAC system there. So now we want to create our domestic hot water system. So we create domestic hot water system. And then I'm going to call it a heat pump water heater because that's what we have for the dwelling unit distribution. This is where you can get some extra compliance points if you get a HERS rater with your building. We can assume standard for now. And then we're going to create a water heater. Actually, sorry, I messed this up. Domestic hot water system. And then I want to create a water heater. And this is what I'm going to call heat pump water heater. So we have a heat pump water heater as specified by our building plans. So we're going to go to heat pump, and it is NEA rated, meaning it's more efficient, or it's been tested at certain standards, so they know it's going to perform well. So notice how without the NEA rated, you kind of just specify a general heat pump water heater, but when I click this button, we actually get specific brands that pop up because these specific brands have been tested, and that information is within the software. So we have a Rheem, and then the XE80. Which one was it? TI. EA. So they don't have EA, but EAH. They have EH45UO. Okay, that's the closest. Going with that. So I'm going to say it's located in the garage as well. Okay. There's only one water heater. We don't have any solar water heating. We don't have any recirculation loops. Cool. So another thing I'm unsure about, I'd have to go reference the standards, like go look in where, go and look in the standards to see if we need an IAQ fan. So let me show you another place. So mechanical tab. So now we have all this information filled out because we filled it in the zone information. So actually I'm going to go into my second zone and specify the same HVAC system and domestic hot water system here. And then our garage is unconditioned, so we don't specify it there. So now we have this filled out. We've got a heat pump system, distribution system, and HVAC system. I thought we turned it off, but I think we did. So none. It's just there. It's just stored there from when we specified it. So now we can make an IAQ fan. So instead of doing that, actually, I'm going to show you. So back on the project tab, the very first tab that pops up, double click, you go to IAQ. So right now, it says it's default minimum IAQ fan. We'll provide it to the first zone. So this makes me think I don't have to make another IAQ fan. So we're already using the default ventilation to pass code.
Yeah, the default IAQ fan is the bathroom fans, and those are the mandatory minimum for code. But then if you wanted to increase, like add an ERV or HRV, that's where you would add a new IAQ fan with your specifications.
Right. So yeah, I'll just show you what they have here. The IAQ fan, so you can specify whatever. And then you can specify the type, what Jenna was saying, exhaust, supply, or balanced. So the default one assumes exhaust. So those are the options there. We're not going to create one because it already has the default in there. So to delete, you right click, delete. Yes. So yeah, we should have all the information we need. And I'm probably forgetting something. Right. So appliances, I'm reminding myself. Okay. So cool. It associated zone 1 with all of these things. And we're going to use the other defaults here. Yeah. Should we run it and see what happens?
Do it.
Boom. So it doesn't, my exterior wall doesn't like my construction wall. Usually just go with the first error here. So I don't know why exterior walls. I'm gonna have to make a new wall. I don't know if I messed this up, but so basically I opened up. This is a good lesson in error checking. So the first error was your wall is messed up. So I went to my construction assembly wall and I noticed it's assigned to interior floors, which is not what my walls are. So I'm gonna have to, instead of being able to change this, I'm gonna have to delete it. Start again. Go away. So to make one, I guess I can make it here just to show difference. So I want to create construction assembly. And I want to call it, let's do wall exterior. Okay. I can assign it to exterior walls. Okay. So now I got gypsum board, and now I want 2x6, 16 on center, R19. And then I'm going to say stucco on the outside. Now I got to go into each of these. I feel like I know Energy Pro has that feature where you can say, like, change all, pretty much, all types, and this seems like one of those situations where that would come into handy.
Yeah, it does have an option for that, but mainly it's like your wall type.
Wall type, right?
When you go to the bottom of this main project page, if you go to the construction assemblies,
Yeah,
assembly types, and then it would change everything that has that selected. So that's kind of this software's way of doing that.
right. And I don't know, yeah, I guess I must have messed up when creating the wall construction, but this is wrong. Calm down. Okay, this, I want to keep this as the garage wall. That's uninsulated. Okay, save it. Okay, so that's, it came up. HVAC system requires a fan assignment since it's ducted. And I don't know, I guess that's just how they account for the fan of the HVAC system. And like, I don't know, I guess gives you that flexibility to like change the power of the fan. So since we already created one, so it said your HVAC fan is messed up. So I went mechanical, HVAC, double click, went to my fan. And since we already created one, I hit HVAC fan system. And I'll save it. Whoops. And then I'll run it. Is it gonna work? Woo.
What do you think the compliance margin is going to be?
I know what it was before. It was like 20% before. Woo.
Oh.
Similar. Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting. So I think, Jenna, you stepped away for a second, but is natural gas available on this site?
No, we would select natural gas is not available. I was looking at that. Mine passed with 26.9%, and that's probably because I did a rough addition in the windows, and then also my space cooling is a lot better than your compliance. So
yeah.
Maybe selecting natural gas is not available would help with that.
I already did select that.
Oh.
But before, so when I first ran it, I had like negative like 80% or something like that. So that was with the default windows with like 0.5 for both the U and the solar heat gain coefficient. So improving the windows and then clicking natural gas not available like bumped it up like a lot, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know why I clicked on that. Oh, well, I guess I was going to show again, building natural gas available. So yeah, I would say that's pretty successful. There might be something that I missed, but I think part of the tricky part is remembering that you need 6 things for each zone. And if you don't put it in one zone, you got to like attach it to another zone surface, if that makes sense what I'm saying. And then, you know, the interior walls versus exterior walls and stuff like that. Yeah, any questions or any comments if I missed something? Cool.
I'm curious to go through your results real quick to see what that negative number is. If you have any.
This part?
Yeah, so your space cooling has a negative 3.31 margin.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on what you think that could be from?
I mean, I could put in the overhangs, put in some overhangs. That might help. But like I showed earlier, I chose to do the more simple way to do windows. I can't specify overhangs. And that wouldn't be like too hard to do, you know. It'll just take some time putting in the different stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got before, because I feel like this is different. So I'm gonna go to the one I built earlier today.
Sure.
Nope, that's the one I just made. Dun, dun. Okay, I think that's the one I just made.
Pre-workshop
folder. Whoa, you're going crazy. Stuck in a loop. Yeah, I thought I don't know. Okay. I'm confusing myself here. Open. So this one already ran. So this is the one I made earlier. I'm gonna look at the results. Yeah, see, it's different.
you have negative space heating on that one. But you have a +3 for the space cooling. So the cooling, I'm pretty sure the things that affect the space cooling would be your attic. If you have like a cool roof on your attic, that's one way to improve your cooling performance. For space heating, it would be improving your window U value. And then for your space cooling, yeah, maybe it was the HVAC equipment in the newer one that made it a -3, but that's probably just getting at a question that's probably not necessary.
Yeah.
You got the other one, so that's good that it got positive.
Yeah, I think I might have, like, oh, you know what it is? I put stucco on these walls, and I didn't on these walls. So let's see, my exterior walls. Oh no, it has sheathing, wood siding. Let me check the difference here. Stucco versus, so my U is 0.72. This one's slightly better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. I mean, would you assume that it's wood siding, Jenna, on that building? Because it has like, I don't know. I'd have to look closer.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It says that it doesn't meet prescriptive 0.051 U factor. That's interesting. Maybe
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
R21 wall for prescriptive, but we are doing performance, so it doesn't have to meet prescriptive.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So maybe if you added like wood in between, no, it's still not good enough. More wood. Yep. I guess you need more insulation.
You can do exterior insulation on this, right? The
Right.
sheathing insulation on the inside and then sheathing insulation
Right.
outside. That's pretty cool to see it set up like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna run this just to see if it's the same, and that could be the last thing that we do.
Cool. Yeah, this was super helpful. It makes me realize that CBEC isn't as scary as it seems. It's like, it seems super complicated, but I don't know, it does have its own, I don't know, like its own ease, I guess.
Pros and cons, yeah.
Yeah, just a little different.
Hey, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Can you mess with the lighting at all? Is that an option? Because I see like on the report it has lighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, can
You
you?
had to do that. Hold on. Come on. Relax. Talking to the model, not you. So lighting. So you're gonna go up here. There's a lighting tab. It really only gives you fraction portable, power adjustment. Yeah. So it's making
fraction portable. Like, you have a flashlight?
I honestly don't know what that means. So yeah.
Okay.
So this is a good tie-in to the next few building energy modeling workshops that I'm going to host. I'm going to show you how to go in behind the scenes a little bit and how you can change some of these assumptions a little bit more. So here we have, the very surface level of CBECC-Res, this window here. So when you run this model, I'll show you. When you run this model, so you get output files. I'm going to go into energy models. So you get all these files when you run it. And before, it was just this one file that you create. So some of these are results. Some of them are just like logs. So yeah. So underneath, this like GUI, I guess you could call it, graphical user interface. You have a text-based language that's kind of controlling the building energy model. And then underneath that, even further, is like the actual like C++ code that's underneath it. So, you know, it's one layer underneath this window here, but it's not like, you know, hardcore coding or something like that. So it creates all these models, and the second folder here, this is what the California simulation engine makes. So the GUI on top of that engine is CBECC-Res, and then underneath it there's this engine, and that's what creates this folder and these inputs and stuff. So then it outputs a few different files, and I can go into more detail later, but basically you have this CSE file, California Simulation Engine. You can open this up, and basically it's a text-based language, like you can read it and kind of understand what's going on. You can go in and change some of the parameters and assumptions. Like for example, you asked about lighting. These few lines right here, you know, it has an hour value of like the lighting power, or the lighting power. So you could say like, oh, I want to schedule my lights or something like that. You can go in and change that hourly value, and it'll simulate that for the year, if that makes sense.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It has a lot of capabilities. Like you can just run the CSE instead of going into CBECC-Res. But you kind of need CBECC-Res to create that original text file, so then you can go in and edit it and then run it. I can show you y'all how to do that at a later date. That's kind of like a teaser. So yeah. I guess that's all I got to say. Any final questions or anything?
No.
Cool. Well, thanks y'all.
Thanks, Emily.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm gonna stop recording. Supposedly. What if I stop?